Please, sir. I want some more.
What? So Star Citizen, as we all know, is a game full of ships. And spaceships are quite literally the lifeblood of Star Citizen. Today's video is something that's been nagging me for quite some time as a player, and it can basically be summarized as player ship ergonomics. I want to preface this by saying issues can of course be found across any and all ships, new and old, but to me one of the most important issues is the lack of consistency when it comes to player accessibility. However, the absolute worst cases of a lack of ship ergonomics sadly comes from the Crusader line of ships, which I do love, which is why it pains me so much. They possess both the style of origin and the industrialness and ruggedness of RSI. Either the entry points are far away or there's merely a single one to be used, which is usually the rear cargo bay, with absolutely no docking collars to be found, even though seemingly there is quite enough space for one. And having no docking collar whatsoever on a spaceship is quite inexcusable. The C1 Spirit and its sister ships, the E1 and A1, were announced on the 8th of October 2022. In comparison, the far superior, in terms of entries and exits, Zeus, was announced on the 21st of October 2023. The C1 has only the rear cargo bay as an entrance, the Zeus has the docking collar, the ladder, and the cargo bay door. But I do not believe for a second concepting changed so much within a year that they suddenly realized they could put more points of entry on a smaller ship than the C1. It appears the design is intentional for most Crusader ships to have this glaring flaw. Why this is, I can only speculate. For piracy or emergencies, or the general use of the ship, the lack of ergonomics for the user makes it annoying and time-consuming for every time you need to enter or exit your ships due to the lack of alternatives. A pirate can only attack from one direction, and you can only escape from one direction. If there is a fire in the cargo bay of the Mercury Star, for example, which for you whatever reason cannot vent nor put out, you have no escape.
This is brilliant, but I like this.
Especially seeing as they had enough time to make the vent for the Mercury Star Runner that made her heart grow 3 sizes, changing drastically from what we saw earlier in the concept. An argument could be made that less exits and entrances is a way to balance the game. The Zeus can't carry as much cargo as the C1, but it is more ergonomic for the users. But this is a silly way to do it. Hindering players in such a manner will only waste valuable game time in a game that already loves wasting player time. Escape pods also exist, but may not be the best way to exit your vehicle in emergencies. So to reiterate, it is not just a mere issue about the amount of doors on a ship, but mitigating minor hindrances to players from enjoying the game. The time it takes to enter and exit a ship only adds to the annoyance of the game and is just another reason new players can be scared off. Having more easily accessible ships will make the game far more engaging and enjoyable in the long run. Ease of traversal in a ship really does make a difference in the quality of life of players. The ship pipeline changes over time, and the newer ships often reach new standards of quality, which means the older ships must strive to reach that always coveted gold standard. But the issue simply is that CIG makes no money from ships which they have already sold and released, which gives CIG no incentive to actually go back and rework these ships in any meaningful way.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Now, as CIG trudges towards 4.0 and the recent showcase of more new ships during CitizenCon, it puts a dampener on any hopes for proper rework of all the ships. One can hope that they will actually take the time and effort to properly playtest the ships before release, which is something that I sadly doubt due to the recent release of the Polaris, which despite achieving the release date goal, it's still rough around the edges and does appear to be quite rushed, though thankfully they have seemingly tackled the issue of multiple entrances quite efficiently. I do hope that the future concept ships they will be working on over the years will take further consideration into actual player experience and test them more thoroughly. Now, with the upcoming release of the Crusader Intrepid, one can hope that it offers more than one entry point, but I doubt it. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, share and subscribe if you enjoy the video. More videos in the future to come. I really feel like this one is the far superior product to the previous video, and only good stuff to come.